Hello, everyone, and welcome today to episode 86 of Celebrity Customer Experience Riffs with me, Jill Raff, where we riff on anything and everything from employee experience to customer experience. Because I guarantee you that your employee experience will be a leading indicator of your customer experience. When you have a connection culture, you can count on your employees having an amazing experience, feeling connected, and delivering that celebrity customer experience to your end customers. I want to thank everyone, first of all, for investing your time, for spending today, the next half hour or so with me and my amazing guest today, which I'll tell you about shortly. I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for you taking the time to spend with us today. And if you're watching live, let us know. Please share your thoughts, any questions you have in the comments. I'll be able to see them live and bring you into the conversation. And if you're watching the replay, thank you. And please, similarly, put your comments in, tag myself or my guest, and we will continue the conversation through the comments. So, without further ado, I would like to bring on today's guest, Calvin Stovall. Hey, Calvin, thanks for
Hey,
joining.
hey, Jill, how are you? How are you?
I
Happy to so excited to be here today.
Oh, me too. It's really exciting what you're up to, our first conversation. So I'm really looking forward to sharing you and all that you are, plus all that you're doing, um, to everyone on the show today. So today's topic, entitled "The Importance of Technology in Creating a Positive Employee and Guest Experience."
Yes.
Calvin Stovall is the president of the new automation technology crypto hotel brand. Cool. I'm going to say that
Yeah.
again. Crypto hotel brand. I'm
Yes,
sure no
ma'am.
one's used to hearing that.
Right.
EV Hotels and Chief Experience Officer of Iconic Presentations. He has nearly 30 years of experience in hospitality and nonprofit service industries. Calvin also served as CEO of Soulsville Foundation, a nonprofit based in Memphis, Tennessee. And he also worked as brand marketing strategist for ALSAC,
Yes, Al.
the brand awareness and fundraising arm for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So many beautiful things.
Yes.
During his hospitality career as VP of marketing, of brand marketing for Hilton Worldwide, Calvin was also responsible for marketing and public relations effort for more than 150 Homewood Suites hotels. While under his leadership, the Homewood Suites brand was recognized 4 times by JD Power and Associates. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Calvin
you.
currently resides in Charlotte, North Carolina, with his two, he wants you to know, his two wildly handsome and brilliant sons, Caden 14 and Carson 11. I love that. Nothing like a proud papa.
Yeah, I am. I love my boys. They're so cool.
You know what? They are our why, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yes,
So
they are.
thank you for including that. I love it. So, Calvin, I really enjoyed getting to know you a bit. And I always like to start out so people understand a little bit of the background, your journey that led you into the hospitality space in this case, and particularly around employee experience, customer experience. So,
Mhm.
will you share a little bit of your backstory, kind of a condensed version? There's so much to get to,
Yeah.
but what led you? Like, where do you come from, and what led you to what you're doing today?
Wow. Yeah. I'll try to condense this as quick as I can.
I know it's
And
rough.
again, thank you, Jill, for having me. And
Mm.
and just truly appreciate the opportunity. So I'm originally from Chicago, and so my first job was actually not my first job, but in hospitality was at a Holiday Inn in downtown Chicago. It was the Holiday Inn City Center, and I was a front desk clerk. And before that, I thought I was going to be an architect, to be honest. That was I went
Mm.
to a vocational school in Chicago. Did architectural drawing and all that stuff. And I thought that, but I did work at an engineering firm for a little while trying to get there, but it just wasn't me. So I ended, someone actually recommended I get in the hospitality industry, and that's how I got that first job. And
You
from
listen
that
to your
point,
calling, it sounds
yeah.
like.
And from that point, I fell in love with it. I had a great connection with the general manager there. Her name was Karen Sock, and we're still good friends today. And so she kind of helped me build, I guess you say, the Calvin brand, and really help me really focus myself and get into this career hospitality. So it just took off from there. I became a front desk manager, and then went to, graduate school at Cornell, then ended up at what was Hilton now. It was Promise Companies back then. And ever since then, I've been in it. It's been fantastic. And then had an opportunity to also work in some nonprofits that you've mentioned. But I've been fortunate to work with some fantastic brands, but hospitality, it's in my blood. I love it. I love the people involved in it. I love inspiring people in it, and meeting new guests and all of that. It's just a wonderful industry, and it's just we've had some challenges over the last several years, but I still love it. I just still love it, and anything that I can do to help contribute to the success of the industry, I'm in. And that's why I love EV, and it's just been fantastic ride.
Yeah, I love that. And, over and over again with each guest that I've had, or just people that I know from working in the industry, and I think of hospitality in the broad sense of the word, right? It's hotels, it's lodging, it's restaurants, it's bars, it's travel, right? The big picture hospitality. And coming from that myself, I really do believe that there is like almost a different gene. And of course, I say that tongue in cheek because I know it's not genetic, but there is something different. There's something with the makeup of people in hospitality, and it is just something that's contagious, and you just are very much a giver, right? And and it gives us pleasure we get our energy from other people and working with other people and helping solve problems and all that. So I hear you. So speaking of solving problems, what pressing problems are you seeing right now in the workplace that led you to want to work in tech in particular, which is, such a major player right now in the hospitality space?
Well, that's a big question, but I've always, even in my speaking business with Iconic Presentation, people that have seen me speak, they know that a portion of my keynotes are around employee experience, because that is the key to everything. If your employees are excited about coming to work every day, that's going to bleed into the customer experience, and then of course you'll be successful. So my whole thing is focusing around that, and the challenges that I'm seeing now. I know you hit the labor and the big resignations and all of that stuff, and I think a lot of it has to do with, of course, you have the COVID and all of that, but culture plays a big role in a lot of this to me. Okay. And I really believe that, I think we as an industry, I'm going to say I think a lot of us didn't react properly when COVID hit with our team members. This is just me speaking. And what I mean is that everybody was talking about, we're a family, we love you. And then something happens, and then, okay, we let you go. And I think, in a lot of cases, we've turned our back on a lot of people. So now when things are starting to come back, we need you back. And they're like, hey, man, you turned your back on me when something tragic happened. So I think where we're at right now, I think what we need to do, because it is what it is, it's nothing we can do to change the past. But I think what we need to focus on is trying to build a positive culture, and focusing on culture a lot more, and making sure people have, when they're excited about coming to work, and focusing on that, making sure you're creating a positive experience for them as well as the guest. And this is why I love the whole automation thing with EV, is because what we're trying to do is really take away a lot of the mundane task that a lot of the hospitality people deal with at the hotels, the task, the checklist, and all of that stuff. And if we can remove a lot of those things through automation, that leaves a lot of opportunity for the employee to focus on the guest and the experience there. And so, like, for example, I mean, who wants to stand behind the front desk for 8 hours and just check people in? I mean, so, like, one of the things we have is, our PMS is EV Human. They're able to walk with the guests get them in the room, walk them to the room. They can do things like that because they're not stationed behind a desk. We have an experience desk, which is not a front desk. So, I mean, it's things that we've thought about that we're really trying to elevate that experience for the guests, but also we're thinking about what the employee goes through as well.
Yeah, so there's a whole different model. So we're going to dive a little deeper into that in a minute. So, I heard you say that part of the pressing problems clearly is staffing, but you feel, that it's so complicated, right? When everything was shut down and company and the owners didn't have the funds coming in and there were all these limitations. I mean, that's a whole
bag
mess in itself, right? And clearly, consequences. I heard you say that you felt some of the consequences of that is, staffing's attitude and mindset and coming back and how we address that. And I agree 100% that it's about culture. What I do is actually go in and try to help companies create what I call a connection culture. Starting from the inside, thus my inside out framework, because as you know, my EX to CX brand is all about the idea that it is in fact taking care of our people, investing in our people to create that great experience, that dedication, that loyalty, that trust. And therefore that gets passed on to the others. And so, taking that forward, I think I just want to clarify before we kind of jump in so people understand what this EV Hotel Group is about. I think it's really a groundbreaking concept. I think it's really fascinating that your founder Ken Patel. So I'll let you mention that a little bit, but really investing in the future and not afraid to go in eyes wide open and not wanting to return to a normal, not returning, but moving forward, which I think is crucial. And so how does EV Hotels answer these challenges that you talked about? Some of it is with staffing. Some of it is with the guest experience. Can you give us some ideas about how in fact are they different and what are they doing to answer the challenges?
Yes. Well, the thing is, and if Ken would tell you this, I've heard this story. He shares all the time, Jill, is that he has this journal he's had for several years where he's been writing down and keeping articles about technology for years and the hospitality industry and how it needs to change. And basically he felt like he wasn't seeing any movement in this area. And I have to agree with him that the hospitality industry hasn't really done anything around being innovative in technology. It's just been the same thing over and over and over again. Yes, there's been some updates and changes to some rooms here and there, but you're used to so much technology in your home, things that, make things more convenient for you, just a lot of things that you've gotten used to at your house and home that wasn't kind of in the hospitality and hotels. So basically Ken's idea was like, hey, since nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself. And so, I mean, of course, he's doing it with a great team around him. But really what he was thinking was, hey, if we can address some of the challenges that the industry is having now around creating these centric experiences for guests, creating positive experiences for team members, and really coming up with something that is forward thinking, we can really revolutionize this industry. We call ourselves the new school of hospitality. And I mean, we're really trying to find ways, and I'm not saying we're done, of course not, but we feel like we've taken a giant leap into creating these experiences. And what I love about EV is just because you don't only just have the technology piece, we're also thinking about the changes that are happening around crypto. There's a whole community out there of people that love crypto, and I'm still learning about it myself, but creating a different experience for people around that as well, you're capturing a whole new guest. We look at this as you got revenue streams. Most hotels today, there's only one revenue stream. You got rooms.
Got what? What'd you say? Rooms. Yeah.
Room revenue, yes. But we're thinking you got rooms, you got the crypto piece, and you have, of course, the F&B piece. So it's like
we'll talk about
trying
that.
to we're trying to really create an experience that is far different than what is out there today.
Okay, so let's dive deep and understand specifics, if you could give us examples of what you're doing at EV hotels that does set you apart. So as a guest, what would be your experience? And maybe as an employee, what would be your experience? Let's start with the employee piece.
Okay.
How is working there different from working anywhere else?
Well, first of all, we're going to focus on culture. Okay, that's going to be the biggest thing, and I talked a little bit about that. But as I said before, we don't have an experience. I mean, the front desk, we have an experienced desk. All employees are experienced employees. We want people to truly understand what the housekeeping team is going through and what the front desk team is going through. So we're going to cross-train people in areas where they may not typically work in, because we want everybody to understand. I love that word you use, connection. So when, so they understand the challenges that the different departments have. They're going to be able to, like I said, build, since we're taking away a lot of the tasks and the checklist, that's going to free them up to really build and connect with the guest. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. It sounds to me similar to my philosophy, that because you mentioned the word task, which made me think about the fact that I always talk with clients about working to create an environment and a business where people are not hired to just do a task, where they're not task
That's it.
oriented, but they are purpose oriented,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
they're all working together in unison and collaboratively for the greater purpose of the outcome of the company, which is, of course, to deliver the best customer experience.
Exactly. And that is all engagement. We want to focus
Mm.
on engagement. We want to focus on growth and development. We have a great organization, Org-Wide Services. They're helping build all of our online learning for us. Of course, we'll probably have some live classes, but we know that learning and growth is a big part of engagement. So we're going to make sure we have those things as well, and celebrating successes. And so we're clear there as how we want to, build a positive experience for employees. But we not only thought about that, of course, we have the guest. We have what we call smart rooms, up to 20 different devices you can put in a room where, I mean, you can have smart toilets, smart mirrors. I mean, a mirror that tell you good morning, things like that, just different. Speakers, we have speakers in the room, curtains automated, just everything. And so it's just a very different experience that a guest when they walk in there. We will have robots in these rooms. You'll be able to order.
Wow.
Not in each room, of course, but you'll be able to order, say you want a Gatorade night, the robot to bring you all those things. So, I mean, all of that stuff is going to be so different for people. We have a crypto ballroom where guests can come in there if you're a crypto trader or whatever. So you can trade there. It's just, there's no meeting rooms. We're going to do a hybrid, metaverse meeting room. So it's just, the whole thing is just totally different.
Oh, that
What
is
we have today.
metaverse meeting room. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm actually a realtor as well, and I'm a part of EXP Realty, and we don't have physical offices. We actually
see,
have the EXP world, and we go to our meetings, and you can see your little avatar, and you walk yourself
there it
over to
is.
this room and that room. It's exactly
It
that
works. I
environment.
mean, and that
It's
is
pretty
what
amazing.
we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
you're using it now. So why
Yeah.
can't we have it in a hotel?
Excellent point. And first of all, I see Cedric Roy has joined. Thanks for joining and commenting and joining the conversation. The hotel industry will be at all high in 2023. He says, "Yeah, I agree. I think this year, we're still dealing with
Still dealing,
challenges
yes.
of COVID, and also the development of all of this technology and the innovative thinking going into this." Thanks, Cedric, for your comments. And it's really fascinating. So you talked about, crypto. So we didn't mention it here, but you had said, I believe, that actually you can pay for your rooms with cryptocurrency.
Yes, you will be able to pay for your room in cryptocurrency at EV hotels. I can't remember, like there's very few brands that do it. Most of them are overseas that do. And usually there is, I believe it's called BitPay. Usually what happens is if somebody pays in Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency, because there's an intermediary there, and then the hotel, what they end up getting is cash. In our case, you'll be able to pay us directly with crypto. So
That's
it's just
amazing.
a, oh yeah. And I know there's people out there right now looking at me, Jill, saying, thinking crypto is not here to stay. Listen to me. It is here to stay. They changed the Staples Center to crypto.com. You've seen,
Oh my
ads on
gosh.
television about crypto.com. It is here. It's going to
Okay.
stay. I do
Stake
think
in the ground.
I do think there's going to be some regulation coming, of course, and some, some stabilization there, and at some point. But I just think it is going to be something here that's going to be here for a while. Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yes. Yes.
I just am so excited about talking to you this because you're the first person that I've met that's involved with something that's really thinking that forward with the use of technology. And I agree, touching on what you said before, like I think we're all getting so used to tech, that part of tech being involved in our daily lives and our home
Yes.
systems and our phones, everything that we're doing, and how cool for people to have that and more and experience that. Because when you go out and you're spending money on a hotel, or you're traveling, or even if it's a business day, to have those luxury items and those things that technology brings the convenience factor in. And,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
agree something you said before, which is my belief that technology should really serve to increase the speed, increase the convenience level of those rote things that can happen
Mhm.
so that it leaves time for more human to human engagement. I'm all
Yes.
about the human
Yes.
element. And so for
Yes. Yes.
me, technology is cool and all of that, but it's not the end game. And so many people invest hugely in technology and a lot of their businesses and software and think that's the end of their solution, but it's not,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, for the customer who's engaging with that, doesn't want to constantly be chatting with the bot
Right.
or
Right.
sent round and round. Like, we want a human. So
Yes.
the more these things can happen, it alleviates then and allows the employees as humans as a part of the experience,
Yes.
regardless of, in this case, a hotel, but in any aspect of the business, to really engage human to human and make that
Yes.
connection with your customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you made a great point, because I truly believe some people may think, because we do talk about automation and technology, and you may look at EV and say, oh, that's just a tech hotel. No, it's well balanced. We understand that the employees and having team members and that human connection is also important as well.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
and so it is not, people say you're just going to automate everything. No, that's not the case. It's not. We're going to
Yeah.
make it more convenient for you. We're going to create a more centric experience for you. But we also have thought about owners as well, because with the EV Human and the PMS system, you'll be able to, better manage your operations. You'll be able to see water consumption in the rooms. You'll be able to manage energy, all of that. So even for a hotel owner, they'll be able to better manage their operations as well. So
Mhm.
even using the automation too. So like I said, we I'm gonna give Ken some accolades here, because he's really thought about pretty much everything,
Right.
in the operations, and from a guest, as an employee, as an owner as well. So
Yeah.
I just think, he's done an exceptional job thinking about those things. And so
Yeah.
that's why I'm gonna
You
make
really
this.
do have to think of each
Yeah,
aspect of
you
who's
do.
touching the business and
That's
in
right.
what way. And technology, of course, does provide that data by from where to make better informed decisions, of course. So
Absolutely.
um
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that clarified too, because it is about the experience. I remember years ago, now granted, this was not all about a lot of tech, but when I was another part of my life, my first life, as I call it, another career,
Right.
um, I was a fashion designer. I started out as a fashion designer, and I used to go to Hong Kong a few times a year, and I loved going there because the hotels were amazing.
Yes. Oh,
And I
yeah.
remember going in and, like, I had never been in a hotel before that actually had these electric curtains, or, you push a button and before you know it, someone's there to shine your shoes or pick up whatever, there were
Yes.
just so many little points, touch points. When you wanted it, the small things have the biggest impact, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's I see this as kind of like fast forward current day use of technology current thinking and where we've evolved in terms of customer desires. There's a lot of very strong desires and wants from customers these days. I think they have very high expectations,
Yes, yes,
especially at a price point, right? So it all comes in line with that.
yes,
So
yes.
one thing I would want to touch on, you mentioned also in our pre-show call, that you shared that there were going to be something planned around NFTs uh,
Yes.
in the lobby and what's going on. So can you share with us about what you have planned with that, and explain for those who are listening who may not know what an NFT is? Can you tell us about what
Oh
y'all are doing
man,
and what that is?
you're putting me on the spot here. Basically, you will be able to invest in NFTs, and I can't remember their non-fungible
Non-fungible
tokens is
token.
the word that they're called. So
Non-fungible
basically,
tokens.
what you'll be able to do is place it, invest in them. So we'll have in the lobby, there'll be columns in the lobby with NFTs on the columns. There's also there's usually a bigger one in the back during the back because we're still designing the lobby in the back room, and then we also have some celebrity rooms with NFTs in there as well. So
What does that
basically,
mean? Celebrity rooms.
well, we have for example, Jeff Driscoll, for example, is a quarterback. Well, now he's a tight end for the Houston Texans. He's one of our executive members. He's our chief impact officer. So we're pulling in other Patrick Mahomes and some other celebrities that'll also be involved in the brand and backing the brand as well. So there'll be NFTs that they are supporting as well in some of those rooms, and you'll be able to invest in those too. So those rooms will also be able to go at higher rates. People that stay in those is and trust me, I am not an NFT expert. I'm still learning about it myself. But Ken has been investing in crypto since 2013, I believe he said. So he
Wow.
is, so he's very knowledgeable in it. One of our other, our chief investor officer, Brian Esposito, he has a lot of partnerships, blockchain and cryptocurrency and so forth. So he's kind of our expert on the team around NFTs and crypto. But yeah, it's just a whole different way of doing business. And as I said before, there's a whole community of people that are already invested in NFTs. And you've seen, I've seen music artists are doing NFTs now. It's just spreading. And so
Yeah.
we're just hinging on, and just moving all of that stuff into the hospitality industry.
Yeah. I love that. You think about one really looking across the board, and it's one of the areas that I love, and I think is one of my value adds is looking at different industries and what's happening in one industry that is
Yes.
not happening in the other. So often
Yes.
companies, I think, are very limited, like they have their blinders on,
Oh,
and
Jill.
they're like, this is our industry, this is the way we've done it, this is the way we do things, this is what people expect of us, instead of looking so I've
Outside.
worked across multiple industries and multiple countries, and it's like, okay, well, in their culture this is what they do, or in this industry they do this. You're not doing that because it's not been typical or traditional in your industry, but why not?
Yes.
And it
You're
sounds like Ken is
yeah.
doing a great job with that. And that for me is fun too, in terms of just broader thinking outside the box when I hear of a problem that I could try to help find a solution to within company is using those abilities. So
Yeah.
um
That's
so
awesome.
we're gosh, time
Yeah,
goes so
I
fast.
know it does,
Um
but you made a great point. I talk, when I speak, I talk about that. I want to just touch on that because I really believe that's where a lot of people make an error, because if you focus so much on just your competition, just in your
mhm,
lane, you're going to miss opportunities. You've got to look outside your industry because they're going to be doing things that are so innovative,
yes.
but you can apply it like you just said. There are things that you can pull, and I think what's happened in Ken's case, because he went to school in Dubai, which is one of the top hospitality schools, he's able to pull a lot of experiences from from international hotels and bringing it to the US.
Mm,
So it's just, and you're right, but you've got to have, I like you said, you can't be myopic,
right.
you got to be more peripheral, and
100%.
that's the key. You got to be able to open up a little bit and think a little bit differently. And that's
Yeah.
all we're really doing. This stuff that we're bringing is done in other places, but it's mostly overseas.
Hmm.
And so, I just think that, you
It's
know,
time.
it's time. It's time. The
Yeah,
time
bring it here.
is now.
And we think of ourselves as in America as such leaders. So why
Yes.
is it then we're so behind in so many of these areas? I
Yeah.
feel like when I love traveling, and I can't wait for COVID to die down because I miss it
Yeah.
so much. But it's that exploring and that experiencing new ways. And I thinking we're supposed to be leaders. How are we so behind? And I think it's because the corporate mentality has not been open, willing to bring these other things in. And so they're not, of course, a huge company. It takes so long to adapt
Yes.
and make changes. And it's why
Yes.
also I enjoy working with, more mid-sized, smaller companies as well, because you can affect change much more rapidly.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's what's doing here. And, one of the areas that actually EV Hotels and the Jill Raff Group's philosophies are aligned is, you talked about the need for employee experience to create that great customer experience, and the importance
Absolutely.
of engagement and listening to your employee's voice, the learning and growing. I love that you talked about learning and growth. So
Yes.
the beginning part of my E3 formula is educate. It's not just training, right? You can train a
Right.
robot. You talked about robots
Absolutely.
coming, which is
Absolutely.
super cool, right? You
Right.
can train a robot. You can train a monkey to smile, but
Right. Right.
it's about really educating and learning, and about what it is that you're about, and what
Yes.
you do. So, I love that too. And I think all in all, we talked about the pandemic really changing. I've been this philosophy, and I've been talking about the importance of our people and prioritizing your employees starting from the inside out,
Yes.
for long, even before the pandemic. But I'm glad that
Mhm.
the unfortunate, the fortunate, I should say, the silver lining and the fortunate effect of the pandemic, because as terrible as it is, there's always a silver lining in everything. It's that I think companies are finally recognizing it's their people who have gotten them through today. And it's
Yes.
their people who um, are not the cogs in the wheel. They're humans, and they're the ones that will make or break your company, basically.
Absolutely. And that is that. And you know what? And I think as bad as the pandemic was, I think it made you have to rethink the way you do your business. So you, you just can't do things the way you used to do it. You need to value your team. You need to recognize them, the differences that they have. I'm all about inclusion, but making people feel
Mm,
like they belong to an organization.
yes.
You just can't expect someone to come in and do a task every single day and go home and be happy with that. It's got to be more
Mm,
than that. They got to
yes.
be tied to the vision. They've got to be connected to what you're trying to do. And they have to really, they have to feel like you value their contributions. And if you don't have that, you're not going to have people very long. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. You talked about inclusion. DEI has been very, big,
Mhm.
hot keywords and
Yes.
and trends. DEI, diversity, uh, and inclusion, but um, equity and inclusion.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's, to me, even now, what's being talked about is adding a B on that. And again, it ties
Belonging.
into my connection culture idea, and that's the belonging piece. And you're
Yes.
right. To me, it's the DEI and the B part of that. Um,
Yes.
and I just I always forget to put my information up there, but it was a perfect segue what you
Yeah.
just mentioned, because I really feel that part of the gap that's happening, and the perception gap, is that people are still looking to to go backwards to to normal, and working in pre-pandemic thinking. And I just want to say as well that if you
So
feel that you or your leadership is working in 2019 pre-pandemic thinking, then you're not going to be able to move forward. You need to have this forward mindset that EV Hotels does, and really want to change, really want to stay current in order to thrive in the future. And if that's something that you're interested in as well, reach out to me. My information is up there. My website is my name, jillraff.com,
mhm,
and I can be reached at jill@jillraff.com.
mhm.
So, I also want to give you the information of where to find Calvin. I'm Calvin. I'm going to put your information up there. There's his
Awesome.
LinkedIn address, as well as a personal direct email. And any last words, Calvin, as we wrap up here?
I just want to just say, what I don't want to come across is Ken and all of us in the executive team, we want to be, of course, leaders in the industry, but we're hoping that we inspire other brands to want to do this. We are not doing this to be selfish or like we're some holier than thou type brand. We want the industry to say, oh, wow, they're doing this. We need to start thinking like this too. As we just saw that Marriott, they have an innovation lab. So we're excited about stuff like that. We want the whole industry to be successful. But hey, the only way that's going to happen is you got to think differently, because what was is gone. Now it's time to move forward. You got to think differently about your team, about how the experiences you create, and really start thinking about what things that you can incorporate to have people feel like you're thinking about them and creating things that helps make their life easier and convenient and exciting. We want to
Exciting.
make
Yes.
the industry exciting again. Right now, you check in and it's just like blah blah. Come on,
Yeah. Oh
man.
God.
Give us
Because
the
of
stuff to say.
being
You gotta
locked
get
up
it
in
together.
COVID, we are scratching for excitement, right?
Yes,
Everyone's
we want
really, yeah.
something energetic and some
Yeah.
fire. Put some fire back into this thing. You know,
I love it. Yeah.
it's
Have
gonna
an
be
experience.
great. Yeah, yeah. So I
Great
like the
energy.
person that made the comment about 2023 is coming back. I agree 100%, and EV will be there 100%. But everybody, when it comes back in 23, don't be what you were. Be something
Yes.
better. Be something.
Great. Love, love, love that. What a fabulous way to wrap. That is a great nugget to close on. Yeah, be better. Be a better version of who we are. Be a better
Yes,
version of your company.
yes,
Offer more to your people. Well,
yeah.
thank you, Calvin, so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all that you're doing. I love your energy and your
Thank you.
excitement, and look forward to staying in touch and really hearing more and watching the progress, because I know y'all are really racing forward, and it's very exciting. So
Oh,
thank you.
man, thank you, Jill. It was such a pleasure, and I just appreciate the opportunity and all the people that listened in today. Thank you for your time. Thank you very
Mhm.
much.
Thank you. All right, just hang with me for a minute there. So thank everyone for listening today. Thank you for commenting. If you're watching the replay, I think you'll agree that's some pretty exciting stuff going on, pretty cool things. So look out for EV Hotels. Look out for Calvin Stovall, who's on the cutting edge of what's going on here. And I really enjoyed today's episode. Every Thursday, join again next week. Please, everyone, we're here every week, every Thursday, 12 o'clock Central Time. February 3rd, I'm excited to bring you TJ Shire, who's the COO of Big Shots Golf, another relatively new company that's doing exciting things, really expanding in the market. So join us there. I look forward to you to hearing what you have to say there. We've got a couple people jumped in at the last minute. Luis Reyes, thanks for this great information. You are welcome. Luis, thank you for joining us. I'm sure I'm going to bring Calvin back on quickly in case that's someone you know. And thank you for joining. And Elise, hi. How
Hello.
wonderful to see you
Hello.
here. Loved this. Thank you. It's so great to have you join. Thank you. And Joel, thank you for awesome conversation.
Oh,
Thanks. I'm
that's
really
great.
glad
Great.
y'all enjoyed it. Yeah. A great guest, a great show today. So again, thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again, same place, same time next week. Cheers. In the meantime, make great experiences.
Yes, ma'am. Bye bye. Thank you.